Here's your boy, Walt the Wizard Williams.
Oh, what a jam by Williams. Holy cow.
Quick shout out to our sponsor, Ocean City, Maryland. We appreciate you so much. Let's get into it. All right, man, my guy, Bob.
Yes, sir, my guy. How you doing?
Man.
It's good to see you.
It's great to be here with you,
Yes, sir.
at the University of Maryland.
Yes.
So tell me this, what does it feel like to represent the DMV area and just staying home playing at the University of Maryland?
Yeah, just being from Maryland, being a Maryland kid, it's always your dream to, put on a Maryland jersey. So I feel like as I got closer to my recruiting process, it was like the fan base here is amazing, coaching staff was amazing, great people around everywhere, it's 20 minutes from the house. So it's a no-brainer when you put all that stuff together, you get a good product. So yeah, it's definitely a blessing and a dream come true.
But look, some guys look at playing at home as added pressure. So for you to stay home and make that decision, what did you think about that part of it?
Yeah, I think part of my decision was based off the pressure. I feel like pressure builds diamonds. Pressure is like a privilege for me, and I work so hard every day that like pressure is really nothing for me because I put the work in. I know that God's gonna bless me. I put a lot of trust in my faith in God. So a lot of that stuff is just like it's big time for me. So yeah, I love the pressure.
Yeah, knowing you, man, I know you absolutely work your tail off, man. So I can attest to that for sure. So what was it like representing Team USA, man? That must have been an awesome experience.
Yeah, so I've been going to Team USA training camps like since I was like 14 years old in the freshman year. So I've been to a whole bunch of mini camps in Colorado Springs. They have a great concept over there. I actually didn't. So this year I was able to qualify to be able to try out for the U18 team. U18 team, mm-hmm. And I made it to the second trials, and unfortunately got cut. But I think the learning process there was, just to keep getting better. Take the feedback they gave me to just continue to get stronger, continue to grow my IQ, continue to get better at a lot of holes I have in my game. And I think I still had a good showing in front of the NBA scouts, which was really important for me. Absolutely.
So just to touch upon that, a guy with your skill set, right, and the notoriety that you've received, over the years, what keeps you grounded, man? What keeps you grounded and focused and still believing that you got goals to attain?
Yeah, I say the number one thing that keeps me grounded is definitely my faith in God. He's blessed me with the talent, obviously, the skill set, the support system. So I try not to take that stuff for granted and try to continue to thank Him, but continue to just be humble in the Lord and my family as well. I have a great circle around me. My family, friends, they keep me motivated. My dad pushes me every day to be better. My little brother, I have 3 older sisters as well. They used to play basketball as well. So and my mom, she's like my rock. So yeah.
Yeah, I know your sisters, man. Take care of you, man. So that's what's up, man. Shout out to the sisters, brother. Trust me. Going through this whole process, man, what was that like for you, the recruiting process? Because I'm sure it was at another level for you. Every guy, at this level goes through that process. But, just being a top recruit like yourself, what was that process like for you?
It was like a lot of up and down roller coaster. A lot of it was new for me, just like going through the recruitment process. And like that, the feeling of being wanted, that's another blessing I try not to take for granted. I reclassified up in August, so a lot of my recruiting was kind of like shaky, like early. And Maryland was in there. Obviously, they knew I was going to reclass up soon. There was a lot of other schools in there. Like it came down to 2 local schools, and I think it was really a no-brainer with Maryland, just the staff and the support system they had here. Like I mentioned in the beginning, Buzz Williams was just like the way he recruited me. It was one of a kind for sure. And I really liked the staff over here. So yeah.
Go Terps and nobody else.
Terps.
Now you're going from high school to the college ranks, man, and so far, how has that adjustment been? How's the college life been for you?
It's been a smooth transition. I like I said, the coaching staff makes a lot of stuff easier. They brought in some transfer guys that I really vibe with. Good vibes in the locker room so far. The older guys have been, motivating us, pushing us, calling us to a different level. Our freshman class, it's been one of the best freshman class I think that come in Maryland in a while. Like we're not any regular freshmen. Austin Brown, he's been killing it in practice. Caden's been killing. Dama, he's been doing crazy. I've been doing what I do. So I think we're gonna have a good freshman class this year for sure.
That's what's up. So was that the biggest reason why you came to the University of Maryland? Or just speak a little bit about what separated Maryland from even the beginning stages when you were narrowing things down, when you had every school in the country starting after you. What separated University of Maryland, and what was it about Coach Buzz and that staff that separated themselves?
A lot of coaches, they'll tell you one thing, and when it gets here another. He kept it straight with me. Like he told me all the things I didn't want to hear. He keeps it raw and real, and I really appreciate it about him. that about him. I don't want to be around people who are going to be like yes men. Just give me what I want.
Yeah.
I want people that are going to call me higher, especially when I'm trying to get to that next level. And I feel like Buzz Williams is the right guy for that.
So what are you looking forward to for this team right here, in terms of the team success, but also for you personally?
I feel like the number one goal, we want to win the national championship. We want to make it to the Final Four. Maryland has a great tradition in winning games. Obviously, they won the national championship. There've been some great coaches that came through here: Gary Williams, Lefty Driesell. All those people. So, we want to make the Final Four. We want to win the Big Ten. We want to win more games than last year for sure. So that's the goal. I say personally, I just want to be the best I could be. I don't want to put any awards out there or anything, stats. Because I just want to help my team win. Okay. That's at the end of the day, that's my goal. Just represent Maryland well, make the fan base proud, make my family proud.
That's what's up. So you've been playing a lot of basketball, and all over the country against the top competition in the country. And so who have you been hearing, your game being compared to the most?
The biggest thing is Kevin Durant, all because of my frame, similar skill sets, same size. And also me playing for his AAU team and being from the DMV as well. I heard some Jason Tatum as well, just like how he gets to his pull-up, how he gets to his midi. Obviously that's similar size. I'm still waiting to fill up, of course. But, those have been the two guys I heard. I heard some Paul George a little bit. I've heard Kyle Kuzma sometimes. Yeah, so those have been those guys I've been hearing.
Those some guys who can get it done, man, for sure. Yes, I like it.
Yes, sir.
All right, so when you're not playing hoops, because, I know you are very focused out there.
Yeah.
But when you're at your downtime, you're not watching hoops, you're not playing hoops. What are your hobbies, man? What do you like to do outside of the basketball?
I like spending time with my family, especially like my little brother. We'll go outside, we'll shoot some hoops sometimes, or we'll go to the mall or something, the grocery store. I like watching movies. We'll watch movies together. My dad, he gave me some different business books to read, on different accounting and stuff, stuff that'll help me in the future after basketball. So I've been trying to get into that a little bit more.
So Maryland is a pretty traditional school. Is there any Maryland tradition that stands out to you or that you like the most?
That's a good question right there. I would say the little chant they go dun, 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 dun. Go right. Maryland, that one, yeah. When it's a packed game, they do that one. I'm gonna get turned up for sure.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, look, that leads me to my next question. What is your thoughts? Of course, you've been in the stands, you've seen the hoopla, you've seen it from fans' perspective, sitting in the stands. But what do you think it'll feel like running out the tunnel for the first time and playing in front of that fanfare and witnessing it yourself?
I don't really think it's something you can even put in your head, because when it's there, it's gonna feel so different than you imagine it. It's gonna be good for my energy, all that stuff's adrenaline's gonna be kicking, even being at some of the games like the Michigan game, that was crazy. Even the Gold Rush game I went to, it's a whole different level.
It really is, man. It is a fun environment to play in for sure. All right, finish this sentence for me. And it's been tough for you guys, man. We gotta get it. We gotta get this tight. All right. When at its loudest, Xfinity Center is as loud as what?
Let me see. As loud as Michael Jackson concert?
All right, that's pretty loud, brother. All right. This is the edition of the interview that we call Rapid Response. All right. First question is going to be start, bench, or cut. All right, Maryland edition. Old Bay fries, Maryland crabs, Smith Island cake.
All right. I'm starting Old Bay fries 100%.
All right.
I'm benching the Smith Island cake, and crabs gotta go. Not gonna lie, it's too messy.
Crabs
I don't eat
gotta
seafood
go.
for real. So
All right.
Crabs going. But the blue crabs is still good. But I don't eat seafood.
All right. Music on your playlist right now.
I got the Drake. The Iceman was cold. I got the Lucky. Lucky.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Lucky hard. I got some Michael Jackson. I ain't gonna lie. After I watched the Michael Jackson movie, I've been listening to Michael Jackson a little bit more.
All right.
And yeah, that's the three. I got some Little Baby too as well. So.
All right. Must watch TV show or movie.
I'm gonna say All American. I watch that a lot. So.
Favorite thing to eat.
Alfredo, steak and Alfredo, for sure.
Morning person or night owl?
I'm a night owl.
Absolutely, I already know. Basketball starting five.
Basketball all time?
Yes, whatever.
Curry at the 1. I'm going to put MJ at the 2, LeBron at the 3, KD at the 4, Hakeem Olajuwon at the 5.
Shout out
the Nigerian.
Elijah
King,
Wan.
Elijah Wan at the 5.
Yes, I played with that dude. He was incredible.
Cold,
Trust
bro.
me.
Cold killer.
Oh my goodness. University of Maryland, Mount Rushmore, Bob. Be careful, Bob.
Put me on the spot, man. You're going to hate me for this
University of Maryland, Mount Rushmore. Let's get it.
All right, so I'm going to say Len Bias.
Uh-huh.
And I'll go Steve Francis for sure.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go Walt Williams.
Oh, man, you have won
It's
my
no
heart,
bias.
brother.
There's no bias there, but it's fair. And lastly, I'm going to say Juan Dixon.
All right, man.
He coached me when I was in elementary school, so yeah, he's nice too. So.
Nice top 4, man. Nice top 4, man. I appreciate you taking
guy.
the time,
Appreciate
brother.
you, man.
Yes, man.
Yes, sir.
So proud of you, man.
Thank
Keep
you, man.
working, man.
Appreciate
Keep
it.
working like I know you will.
Yes, sir. Thank you for
I
the time.
can't wait to see you play, brother.
Yes, sir. Go Terps.
And nobody else.
November 7th, pop out.
Yeah.